In the universe, there are 100 billion galaxies. And realize in the Milky Way, there are 100 billion stars.
And as neuroscientists and scientists look for answers of life at all levels, we begin to realize something so simple yet so amazing. As we begin to understand the facts right in front of us, that neuroscientists through fMRIs have discovered just recently that there are in our own brains 100 billion neurons. Just as the universe with galaxies, the galaxies with stars, perhaps a conscious awareness way beyond what we understand. When we look at the old ways of doing things versus the modern ways, and as we do surgeries the old way, or the use of medication, just the use of medication in the US since the 1960s has increased over 800% per person. Realize that we are one of only 2 countries in the world that allow prescriptions to be advertised on television, the other country being the small country of New Zealand. But there is a new future on the horizon, one that is modern, because the future is now. As we explore the possibilities through your own life, perhaps weaning this country free from most of the medications that alter our moods, imagine as we begin to understand the brain, what we're able to communicate in the powerful ways through language to the neurons. As we begin to understand what is possible through evidence-based hypnosis. Imagine your brain is recording everything from the time you're born, every sound, every touch, every smell, everything you see, and everything you taste. And yet it has another sense, the sense of imagination. But also realize, with all that, we record the negatives. Because a child hears the word no 71 times more than yes every day by the time they reach 5. Our brain is full of negative thoughts and feelings. As our environment is filled with 80 to 90% negative data, we can begin to see there is a more powerful way for the medical world, beyond surgery, beyond pills, and beyond couch therapy. As we look at the amazing future, imagine in many cases the future is now with hypnosis. Such research as using gamma lights and LED lights and sound with proper words that's being used right now in universities and hospitals across the country, including NIH. Words that we can address the brain for weight management, stop smoking, and sleeping issues, or fears, and so much more. With Transformation, we look at new, modern ways for evidence-based hypnosis as we go right now and imagine seeing a patient in my office for stress and weight issues. Welcome to Transformation. Today, our topic is stress, and I'm here with Cindy, and we're discussing some of the possibilities on how we can make hypnosis easier with evidence-based work and software as well as hardware. Right now I have hooked up with her a simple sensor that's on her lapel of her dress as well as her ear. With this I get data through changes in her own feelings, as well as the emotions that she has going on, which will tell me how she's feeling, what anxiety she has, what level, and I don't even like to even use the word stress, but as well as stress, as she has her own goals in making her life a lot easier, dealing with some of the challenges that you have with weight, right?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to work on?
Just to learn how to relax a little more.
Relaxing more?
Yes.
And we're going to do that. And the beautiful thing about this software is it allows me to understand her own aura, her own way of being, with telling me her heart rate, her pulse. And this is really evidence-based hypnosis, taking it to a new level so that when I work with her, I can see the easier possibilities for her to go into a rewarding hypnosis. So I'll know what words are benefiting her and relaxing her, and it makes the process so much easier through the simple software and hardware that we're using through a nonprofit organization called HeartMath that you'll be hearing a lot more about here in the future. So in working with you and challenging yourself and seeing possibilities, I know you said you've had different levels of stress through the time. Is there any particular challenges with food that you have?
Well, I notice that every time that I'm stressed or I'm going through something in my personal life, I tend to eat more.
Mm-hmm.
And I have lost a couple of pounds already after I gave birth my daughter, which she's already 4, but I'm still struggling with a few pounds.
Yeah.
That I can't lose them for some reason. And I don't know, it has to be related to the stress I go through in my daily basis life.
Yeah.
Since I have to deal with, a lot of stuff like at home, picking her up from daycare, then doing, after work, doing activities with her. So that's one of the things that I think affects my weight.
Okay. And of course, with children, the statistics are that they eat a lot of small meals, and if you're at home much with your daughter, then we tend to sometimes also eat those meals. I know when I'm around nephews and nieces, it's the same way with me. I'll eat as little
snacks
things
with
that's in there. Yeah, so that's challenging in itself. But the fact is that when we are stressed, we tend to eat more, and we also eat the wrong type of foods, right? So that'll be in a later episode about what the right food is, or they can go to the website we'll have here shortly. But certainly eating the right food choices are absolutely essential. So stress and weight management go together. And also when you can change the level of your stress, you change everything. You change the way you see things. And it makes it so much easier for you to benefit from the weight changes you've made. And the whole environment, whether you're at work or at home, changes for you. So I'm going to give you a couple simple techniques right now that you, the viewer, can use at home that I teach with doctors, and it's beneficial, and you'll see it a lot on here. It's, again, we know how the brain and heart simultaneously breathe simultaneously. So I'm going to give you that simple technique, and then you'll have more specific things we'll do later. But what I'm getting is, you'll see on the screen, technology that's state-of-the-art, showing the level of focus she'll have with her beneficial trance that we're going to do in this very brief exercise for you. Okay, so I'd like you just to put your hand over your heart and take a deep breath in, and allow yourself, if you want, to close your eyes. You can feel yourself relaxing and going deeper and more relaxed. With every breath, go deeper. And as your hand is over your heart, you realize that powerful, loving heart that wonderful heart. As you breathe in, you can feel that hand getting lighter as it taps into the most powerful computer we know, your brain. And as you realize you have the same brain as every doctor, lawyer, president, you realize you have so many more rewarding possibilities, so many wonderful rewarding possibilities as you allow yourself to relax. And I want you to use this for yourself whenever you have a challenge. Just take a couple minutes out for yourself that gives you the opportunity for yourself to feel that freedom, to feel that relaxation, that love, and that happiness that you deserve. And it's a very simple, easy technique that you can use at home, and you, the viewer, can use at home, as we have many possibilities, and as we work together to make your life easier, simple, more peaceful. It will allow you, the viewer, to see everything more relaxing and wonderful as you see the possibilities with the HeartMath technique and the wonderful technology that we have to make her hypnosis more beneficial. As you'll see on screen, the wonderful possibilities. So you'll see this brief message from HeartMath. It's a foundation that's nonprofit that I'm a part of and certified with, and it is something that has amazing change for the world as modern hypnosis gets to be a part of everyone's life.
The Institute of HeartMath is a nonprofit research and education organization. We help people of all ages to reconnect with their hearts, where they rebalance and rejuvenate by reducing stress and learning to self-regulate emotions. Across the globe, in more than 50 countries, people are practicing our techniques for heart-based living and using our EMwave technology to de-stress and build resilience. Founded nearly 20 years ago, the Institute has made important scientific contributions related to stress, the power of positive emotions, heart-brain interactions, as well as the emerging fields of intuition and human energetics. Our researchers have explored the intelligence and capabilities of the human heart and how we are interconnected, and how emotional restructuring and positive emotions can increase energy and foster the flexibility needed for life's challenges. HeartMath programs like TestEdge and HeartSmarts benefit students, teachers, administrators, and other educators by helping motivate and engage students in learning while improving test scores and social and emotional skills. The Resilient Educator is helping reduce teacher burnout and improve overall well-being. The generosity of HeartMath's donors is helping us maintain 2 special outreach funds. The Heart-Based Education Sponsorship Fund offers grants to students, teachers, and schools. The Military Service Appreciation Fund assists soldiers and veterans who have experienced stress, trauma, or PTSD. IHM provides free programs through our Community Service Project to assist disadvantaged individuals and families weather difficult times. And the Global Coherence Initiative is measuring changes in the Earth's magnetic field and hypothesizes that people's individual coherence can affect the Earth's energy field, ultimately advancing world peace. Explore our website to learn how your membership in a caring organization dedicated to improving people's lives can benefit you.
Welcome back to Transform a Nation. In this segment, we have an episode called The World of Hypnosis. And today I have the privilege and honor to visit with a colleague and friend of mine from Nagoya, Tokyo, by Skype. We'd like to welcome Dr. Brian Cullen. And Dr. Cullen has working at the Nagoya Institute of Technology in Tokyo. He's originally from Ireland, and he teaches there and has a new book coming out. His expertise is in the world of NLP, which is known as neuro-linguistic programming, and he'll elaborate on that. And we just have the honor and privilege of being with you today from Nagoya. Welcome, Dr. Cullen.
Thank you very much, Paul. One thing I should say at the beginning is Nagoya is definitely not in Tokyo. Nagoya is about
yes, I do
90 minutes, about 90 minutes away from Tokyo on the Shinkansen, on the bullet train. And you're very welcome to come over sometime. I'd love to see you here.
Yeah. I've actually been to Tokyo. I haven't been to Nagoya, but it's beautiful, and hopefully it's a little bit more affordable than when I was there about 12 years ago.
Well, Japan has had depreciation for about 22 years now. So things are pretty much the same price as they were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So in comparison to the US or to Europe, for example, I think you'll get a pleasant surprise at how affordable Japan really is.
That's wonderful. So, Brian, why don't you tell us how you moved in the world of hypnosis and NLP, and how you see it benefiting in what you're doing and teaching with your area of expertise.
I got started in NLP way back in 2003, and I went to a course that a friend of mine was advertising for teachers, or better communication for teachers. And I was very cynical about it. I tend to be very cynical about anything until I've actually tried it out myself. And generally, I think that's a better approach. So I went to the course, and I was very impressed by the instructor. And then I started using some of the techniques. And again, I didn't think they were going to work. For example, I was having a big argument with my wife at the time. And we just learned an NLP technique called reflective listening, or we reflect back the patterns to the speaker. And we were shouting at each other, having a big argument. And then I started using these, and suddenly she calmed right down. Now, I was still very angry, but I was very impressed that she had calmed down so quickly. And I suddenly thought, wow, there's something to this. And so I went through various issues in my own life, and that marriage broke up, and I went through some trauma myself, and I used NLP and hypnosis myself, and I found that it made a huge difference, and that was the real reason that I began to take it very seriously, and to begin to work with clients and to help other people. Now, from there, it was a natural step to start to bring it into the classroom. One of the major contributions of NLP to education is language patterns. Teacher language is so important. And many teachers, the language that they're using with students is actually hindering their learning rather than helping their learning. And over the last few years, over the last 7 years, I guess, I've led a research group, and we've done a lot of work in applying NLP language patterns to the classroom. And we've shown how in a controlled study, if you set up two groups, and if you give one group, if you give group A these language patterns over the course of a semester, and group B is just given standard teaching methods, group A's results are going to be much higher. We've shown this in timed reading studies. We've shown it in timed writing studies. And of course, the whole attitude of the classroom is totally different. I really believe that if more teachers were to take care of their language and to become more aware of how their language is affecting people, that really we could improve the state of education everywhere.
Absolutely. And just so the viewers understand, NLP is basically a language to tap into the subconscious in many ways. And you're, again, more of an expert in this area than I am. You're a master NLP, both practitioner and teacher with it. So looking at hypnosis, is there a case or a case that you've had that has made a profound change in the person you worked with?
I can give you two examples here. I have a fun example and a rather serious example. Well, they're both serious, and you can choose which you choose to share with your viewers. The first one that I share is, I got this is about 3 years ago, I got an email from a guy in Kyushu, who's that's the south of Japan. And he's a creative artist, a performance artist. And his thing is going up on stage and doing crazy things. And he wrote to me and he said, in my next show, I want to be a dog. And I said, great, that sounds fascinating. And he said, really, all the other hypnotherapists said they couldn't help me. And I said, that's just the kind of thing I love. And I really do love unusual clients. I think it's great. So I worked with this guy over several months. He was living far away, so he came up for 3-day intensives a few times. And by the end of it, we had him, he was in a big box with a mirror. It was a two-way mirror, so people outside in the performance could see him as he was fighting with himself, being a dog. He could see himself in the mirror. And as a dog, he could see another dog. It was an absolutely fascinating experience. And it was amazing to me that when somebody is willing to really play with things, it really is possible to make major transformations in hypnosis. Now, I'll give you another example. I had a client several years ago, and she still comes to me. Now, she came to me initially with weight problems, and she was overweight, which is quite unusual in Japan. There isn't really much of a weight problem here. Now, this lady came to me, and first of all, we worked on her weight, and she was a great subject. And immediately we started working together, the weight started falling off. It was quite remarkable. And within a few months, you know, she had said, well, I know how to do this, but I want to keep coming because there's something else I want to work with. And I said, what's that? And she said, well, I'm having some problems at my job. And we worked together on her job performance, on her confidence, on her self-esteem. And again, this woman was great. She was a great subject. And she really learned this. She learned self-hypnosis. And she began to apply self-hypnosis and hypnosis to every area of her life, to her health. And within a year, she had transformed every area of her life, her career, her love life, her financial situation, her own personal development, her health. She had moved house, and she was just having a lot more fun in life. And to me, it was a wonderful example of when a client really comes in with an open mind and is able to communicate clearly with their own subconscious mind, immense change, immense transformation is possible in a short time.
Absolutely. And we know there's some amazing changes that can be very simple with clients, as you just demonstrated. Briefly, because we only have about a minute or minute and a half, with what you were just recently in the U.S. In fact, we attended a class together with Dr. Hart up in Boston. Is there something that our audience here can take from, you know, what you've seen in the U.S. in learning and how we can apply hypnosis on a regular basis, because it's still on the progressive edge here in the U.S.?
Right. The very simplest thing that anybody can do is learn self-hypnosis. Because really, all hypnosis can be regarded as self-hypnosis. If somebody doesn't want to be hypnotized, they won't be. So really, the single best tool that people can do is to learn self-hypnosis. Go to a hypnotherapist, you know, learn it. It's simple to learn. And then you can You can do it all under your own control. You can do your morning and evening practice. And just a couple of minutes a day, you can improve your communication with your own unconscious mind. And believe me, the unconscious mind is the one that's doing all the work. That's where all the good stuff is happening. That's where all our patterns, all our habits, all our memories are stored. And when we start talking to our unconscious mind through self-hypnosis in positive ways, we can really begin to make very powerful changes in our own lives. And it's not difficult. So for anybody out there, what I do is recommend go and learn self-hypnosis. There are books, of course, and read the books. Read books, listen to the tapes. The easiest and most effective way is to go to somebody who is skilled, who will help you to enter trance easily. And then from there, you'll be able to do it yourself.
Great, that's great information, and I am constantly, as we both are, believing in self-hypnosis, and it's an opportunity for everyone as I teach each person to use it, and I realize and understand you do too. I want to thank you, Dr. Brian Cullen, for being with us from Nagoya, Japan, and I appreciate you being here, and thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us. I'd like to thank my guests for being on this week's Transformation. If you go to Facebook and like our page with Transformation, the first 50 people that do this will be able to get a free MP3 download that I've put together for being able to relieve stress, a very beneficial part for you, because realize that 71% of the patients that go to hospitals go for stress. And it's something that everyone can benefit from. Thanks again for watching Transformation. I'm Paul Davis, your host, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.